So, one of my students came and talked to me about someone stole their everything, right? They created a Facebook group, they created like a Discord group, they started doing meetups, really like virtual meetups because the pandemic. And so I think their group is at 18,000 people, which is amazing. I'm like, congratulations, this is awesome. Well, here's the problem. Someone came along and copied it. I mean, word for word, and put it inside of a different Facebook group in another city. And I'm trying to be careful here for anonymity's sake. And he was like, I'm not even famous. I'm not even a big enough person. Why are they doing this to me? And he was getting upset. And I said, wait a minute. Stop. You have to think about this. And I want y'all to really hear me here. There are 3 ways people get wealthy online. 3. Just 3. And it's talking about money, relationships, and your health. Point blank period. Why is the relationship space so busy right now? And I'm using the word busy on purpose. The Kevin Samuels, the other dating coaches, Peter put their pictures up here. The other man channels. Because you don't have to have results. I know, shocking. Let me just be very clear. If you want to talk about fitness, veganism, drinking smoothie shakes, put them pictures up here, Peter, smoothie shakes. You're going to be expected to what? Have a great body, or a lean body, or a body that you were once fat and now you're skinny. You have to show some kind of results if you want to talk about fitness, right? Or you're a recovering fat person, or you're recovering whatever. You have to show results. You have to have photos. You have to have pictures. This is one of these things when these hoteps start talking about diet and stuff, or these men talking about these women need to be skinny, they go, show us your picture. They don't want to do that. So that's why many people aren't in that space, right? You want to talk about lifting weights all day? People kill it in that space. But you have to show results. When it comes to money, you have to be in the journey, on the journey, recovering, I'm paying off debt, some type of journey. You could be all over the spectrum when it comes to money. People are very sensitive about money. But guess what you have to do? Show results. This is why this channel is hard. It's hard to make. It's hard to show. It's hard to do without your accounts getting hacked. We've already had one account get hacked. It's just hard. It is. And when you tell people to do something, personal finance is just that, personal. So I may say something in a great way. Someone hears me say it, 6 months later, somebody else says it. They're like, this is amazing. I've never heard this before. And you're like, but I already said that. They weren't ready to receive it, and they also will not give you credit. It's just something about us as humans. If we don't hear it just the way we want to hear it, then they never heard it before, right? We've all experienced that. When the student's ready, the teacher appears. Even though your parents, your grandma, your cousin Linda and them, everybody told you the same thing, but all of a sudden somebody else came along and said it, and now they get credit for it. It just is. It's just people. But when it comes to relationships, this is the ficky one. We can all have an opinion. Even if you look at some of these therapist channels, Ayana, fix my life. Put it here, Peter. Look at Ayana, fixing lives. I say she never fixed not one life, but the thing of it is it's all opinion. You don't even have to have results. This is the issue. People get mad at Oprah for talking about marriage and kids. She's not married. She doesn't have kids. And people say, well, see, she's not married. She don't have kids. She can't talk on it. Okay, well, then we have all these men, sometimes 19-year-olds, 25-year-olds, just repeating, regurgitating the same BS they hear everywhere online. Why? Because they don't have to have results. They don't have to show you actual girlfriend that they work through. They don't have to show you a wife. They don't have to show you kids. They're actually managing their life, right? They're just doing inflammatory things and saying inflammatory things and repeating like parrots online what someone else says. It just is what it is, right? So again, even the therapist, anyway, Rebecca Lynn Pope, put her here, Peter, Rebecca Lynn Pope, she has a TV show, and they're like talking about marriage, right? I'm not even sure of what the show is, but I know it's on TV, and I'm like, she doesn't have credentials. Like, she was a matchmaker, and she's a wife to a preacher, a guy who's ordained. I guess that's a better word, ordained. And so when you say, okay, well, what's the results? Well, at least she fits the category of matchmaker and she's married, right? But in this wild west of the internet, these people don't have to have any results because it's all their opinion. And that's why the space is so popular, because they don't have to have metrics. See, they get mad when I say, what are the metrics for this? Hey, women should do this. Okay, well, if the women do that, are men going to marry them? Well, no, no, no. They're not going to marry them. No, no, no. No one's getting married. Well, why would the women change if it's not something that's going to benefit them directly? Right? That's like every time we see the news in Ukraine. I'll try to get back on topic. But in Ukraine, the trains were not putting the African students, and people forgot this part, the Indian students or the Asian students on the trains either. See, they left out that part. If you actually read the article, it talks about how they left Romanians off the train, they left Indians off the train, they left anybody that won't Ukrainian up off them trains. And my opinion at that point is, well, hey, y'all got to do what you got to do. But the reason people will copy something, and kind of back to the whole point, is the reason people will copy something, right, and steal your ideal, is because, one, let's just go there, they know you're not going to act on it, right? One, put it on screen here, they know you're not going to act on it, right? So somebody's like, always, people are very scared to let their ideals out there. Well, I can't share my ideal with anybody. I need these people to sign an NDA. You'd be like, girl, I've heard a million ideals. You know why? Because most people won't do shit with them. Point back here. Number 2, it's not who first says it, it's who best says it. I know that sounds crazy. You know, you grammar people are going to cry, but it's best said, right? Right? When people say best selling offer, they don't say best spelling offer. They say best selling, SELL. Okay. But, you know what I mean? When they talk about the 4-Hour Workweek book, put that book here, Peter. They're not talking about, his wording on some page was wrong. And that's the obsession we have. It's got to be perfect spelling and all this other silly stuff. Number 3, constant marketing. The amount of self-promotion you have to do if you don't have a marketing budget or an ad budget is out of this world. So it leads to people doing, like I said earlier, inflammatory things, saying outrageous things to get attention, putting outrageous thumbnails on there to get those eyeballs. And it keeps people in a constant stir of emotion, right? Financial can be boring at times unless there's a big goal we're going to. That's why so many people in credit repair are like, yo, they only call me when they want to buy a new car in 2 months or a week or 4 months or 1 month or 30 days. Or they only call me when they want to buy a house, or they only call me because that's how people are. Very short-term thinking. They think it's supposed to be a quick turnaround, right? When it comes to fitness, go on YouTube right now and type in the search bar, how to lose, 40 pounds in 30 days. You'll be amazed how many people type that shit in there. Overwhelmingly, a ton of people type that in there. And so I want y'all to understand that people are seriously thinking, how can I do something in 30 days? Right? Best thing you can do for 30 days is drink water. I don't know what else to tell you, right? And so these things, life requires metrics, right? To see where you're going. MOT said something the other day that kind of cracked me up. He's like, people are on these choose your own adventure lives all the way at 50 years old. And, I posted videos from Invisible People and this guy who interviews homeless people in Atlanta. And if you actually listen to most of their stories, like everything about their story led them there. I divorced my wife. I did this. I did that. All the financial cues. I did this. I did that. And I got on drugs. And in my comment section, you will still see people say, well, because their wife left him and she divorced him and took half his money. I'm like, he didn't have any money. He started doing crack. Everything about this journey he did backwards. Right? You know what I mean? And like, if you go look at the video, it's a man, he got out of the military early. He left college early. He quit jobs all the time. Everything about his direction was leading to homelessness at 60. So when we sit here and tell people, hey, you guys got to really do this, 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 and this. You got to really set aside some money, not necessarily just saving it, but somewhere investing it, letting it have returns. And you tell people, hey, if you put this over here, you'll get 8% returns. They're like, that's all? That's the number one thing I get from people when I'm on the phone with them is like, hey, you put this over here, it's about 8% returns. That's all? Not 50%, not 100. No, this ain't a lottery. This ain't a casino. It's not going to turn around and give you 100%, double your money. This is not a craps game. This ain't dice in a corner. Show rolling dice over here, Peter. Put a casino in here, Peter. Because that's what people really believe it is. So whenever you guys start your projects or start your businesses, I want you to understand, if you're building anything online, digital, be unique enough without being crazy to have a business that can stand on its own, right? So this guy's taking all his energy from furthering his company and his business and his meetups and his discussions to worrying about this person copying him. And she's copying me. And I said, well, if you're taking all your energy trying to fight folks who are copying you, you slow down the momentum of the business you're trying to build. Okay? So I just want y'all to understand that. Like 48 laws of power. We don't fight down. I don't know which law this is because I'm laying down right now. But we don't fight down. We only fight up. If someone's our equal or our lateral, horizontal peer, who cares what they say? Keep it moving. But what happens is some of y'all think you're above somebody, but if you respond to their negative comments, you're fighting down, right? And that's against the law, 48 laws of power. Everybody knows that right there, right? We don't fight down. We don't. One of the worst things Putin, I know I'm bringing this last part in, one of the worst things Putin is doing right now is fighting on a country that thought he could roll over, right? And guess what? It's not rolling over.